course, the first race of the day, and we'll be kicking off with the men's elite 10 kilometres.
There you can see some of the leading lights. Lobalu is the European champion over 10,000 metres on the track from last summer. 26.54 is personal best. Anything down under 27.30 is super fast running. Rory Leonard could feature today. His dad was a great racer, has had a few health problems recently, the Briton there. But look out too for the likes of Nordash of Norway. He's a 1,500 metre specialist, but in this era of middle and long distance racing, the middle distance runners really can mix it with the long distance runners as well. Well, let's have a look at the leading men, some of the leading men. There he is, Dominic Lobalu of Switzerland. He is 26 years old, European champion at 10,000 from last summer, fourth in Olympic Games at 5,000. Fabulously consistent racer too. Nordash, well, the bronze medalist at 1,500 in 2023 in Budapest at the World Championships. Seventh last summer in the Olympics at 1,500 metres. But a real package at 10,000 as well. There is Rory Leonard, the 24-year-old Brit. Good track form. 27.38 last summer on the track. He will be a factor. Yann Schrub of the French squad. They promise to be very fast as well. The French with Schrub, so experienced, the 29-year-old silver medalist at 10,000 last year behind Lobalu on the track. And there the last of them, Kimeli, also racing for Belgium. Isaac Kimeli, 8th in the Olympic 5,000 last summer, 6 times the Belgian champion, the former Kenyan. Great on all surfaces, Kimeli. He's the complete racer. So engines revving, ready to go for this inaugural 10K on the roads at these European Running Championships. Away they go then. Now, the roads will be a little bit more slippery because there's been no rain for 3 weeks. You get a sort of build-up of oil and other things on road surfaces when you get a long period of warm, dry weather. Let's hope that doesn't create any problems on the corners. Now, it's quite a challenging course to this. There are some pretty significant hills, and that will be a factor, Ellen. I wonder if it'll deter people from going out hard. Well, this is the front end of that men's race. And you can see Yann Schrub there in the blue of France, about fourth from right. Lobalu to the left of picture of Belgium. Probably the race favourite with Nordash right behind him, the 1,500 metre specialist. I wonder if Nordash will just try and shadow Lobalu and follow the man who has a fascinating life story. Lobalu, he was left South Sudan as a kid and took refuge in Kenya at the age of 8. The former footballer, Lobalu, and then ended up in Switzerland. Charlie Wheeler of Great Britain leading at the moment, the 26-year-old, best of 27.42. That was in Valencia on the 12th of January. He's in very fine form indeed. Comes from Milton Keynes. Just another of the top European runners who studied in the USA. He was at Oklahoma State University. Took a major in multimedia journalism. We'd better watch our backs. But anyway, these races well underway now. 4.5 minutes on the clock for the men. We'll bring you splits as soon as we can. It is compared with yesterday's half, and of course the marathon to come later today. A short, sharp race, this one. It covers the first half of yesterday's half marathon course, but it still includes some significant lumps and bumps, some hills, and with all these twists and turns in the town centre as well, not a bad thing to be at the front and get a good look at them. It's like being a steeplechase, you know. It's enormous help to be able to sight the barriers and get a good look at them, so it helps to be at the front or at least see them clearly. Yeah, we know how early the move was made, of course, yesterday with Jimmy Gressier. Pulled off a very similar move. We're straight to the front. Of course, Wheeler now looking around and seeing who's happy to go with this pace. You can see Lobalu tucked in the kits of Switzerland, a few places back now. And Germany well represented, as with the Netherlands, of course. The top 3 in each nation contributing to the team score, and then a wider 25, including those competing in the mass start, contributing to the country's score overall as well.
one of the mottos for these championships, running with the champions, and it really gives you an opportunity to contribute to the wider success of your nation and your team.
Here's the men negotiating the big hill on the single lap they've got to get round this morning in this 10K. And that's a big pack, isn't it? Nobody's really thrown the gauntlet down like yesterday, where Jimmy Gressier, right from the start, really tested the field over the first 10-15 minutes. Here, that's a pack of, what, about 25 strong, maybe, going up that upslope. Trying to see who that Italian is in the lead. And it's Fanil of Italy, who has moved to the fore. Eob Fanil, the 32-year-old. Best of only 28.08. That was in Madrid a few years back now. So I don't know if this is Fanil coming back, something like his best form, the former Eritrean. But there's a lot of athletes behind him who are 20, 30, 40 seconds and more faster. So I don't know how long he'll be able to stay there. Daguino of France, he's another athlete that mustn't be underestimated. Fabulous performer. Back in November, he ran 27.04 in Lille for a 10K on the roads. He's a 3:37 1500 metre runner. There he is with the glasses on his head, left of picture, Daguino. 3:37, well, that's worth about 3:53 for a mile. He's a 13:15 5,000 metre runner on the track. He's got a really good armoury. And actually, at the half marathon, he's got enormous strength too, Daguino. Could be a surprise package here in terms of beating the big headline favourites. He's run 59.46 for a half marathon, so he's got enormous strength. As Etienne Daguino, the 25-year-old who leads at the moment. Lobalu in the white of Belgium right on his shoulder. Yann Schrub there to the left as well. And these three beginning to get away. Who's tucked in behind them? Just trying to see the other vest there right in behind them. Is it one of the Swiss, or is it a Turk, I think, maybe tucked in behind them? Kimeli it is at the front end now. Lobalu in the white, back in about 5th place. It is Kimeli, Isaac Kimeli for Belgium, 31-year-old, who's been around for a while. Got a silver medal in the 2018 European Cross Country Championships. Took a silver in the European Indoors 3000 back in 2021, the former Kenyan. He's run 27.07 on the track, 12.56 for 5,000. He's got fabulous speed, endurance. And this pace has picked up, Ellen, there's no doubt about it. This is testing now, single file, and gaps beginning to appear.
Yeah, you can see it's already split into a number of small groups, and Lobalu leading the charge for this chase pack who are trying to get back into the battle for the medals. As you rightly said earlier on, Tim, it is short, it is sharp, and in comparison, of course, to yesterday and the half marathon, and later on today with the marathon, this will be over before we know it. Ellis Cross and Rory Leonard in the striped singlets of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Daguino testing them now, though. Single file. Kimeli in 2nd place. Yann Schrub in 3rd.
First opportunity for the athletes to take on some fluid. They will be offered it, as it's, of course, a 10-kilometre race. You see very few, and with the conditions as well, see very few of the athletes take it on in comparison to yesterday, where a number of the half marathon runners made the opportunity to go and use the fuel stations offered to the masses.
Another slight uphill here. There are some undulations on this course. We're 16 minutes in, so they've made the turn, I think, at halfway. Kimeli now pushing to the fore from Daguino. They're really racing here. This is aggressive running too, and the gaps are going to widen. Yeah,
he was invited. Daguino's looked to his side and said, please come through. It's not the first time that he signalled to Isaac Kimeli to take a turn on the front. He looked to his shoulder, and Kimeli feels that he can take on the offer laid down by the Frenchman to try and push forward.
There it is, 13.50 at 5K. It is quick. Obviously at 27:40, if they maintain that tempo, Dagino and Schrub. Ataç it is of Turkey, who's up there having a great run, and Kimeli as well in front of the home crowds. Lobalu, of course, is there, the Spanish. Ramos, he will be a factor, there's no doubt about that. Jesus Ramos, he's a 28.08 performer. But one or two fellas, I suspect, in that lead pack have been redlining over this last couple of kilometres and will start struggling. If you run down towards 27 minutes, 13:50 feels comfortable enough. And these three, with the French again having a fabulous time of it. They won the team race in the men's half marathon yesterday. Beginning to get away.
Yeah, there's no doubt that looking at those splits there at 5 kilometres, we'll have the same for the women shortly. They've gone through the 5k mark as well. That the French will be on top of the podium once again if this is anything close to how it finishes, particularly with two looking in prime position to take podium positions.
Well, Kimeli looking comfortable, just keeping his nose in front at this point. He's got great speed too. He's run 4:54 for 2,000 on the track. He's a 12:56 performer at 5,000. That from last summer. So again, he has everything you need to be a great racer up his sleeve. Well, he would have if he was wearing sleeves, but what I'm saying is he can run it hard from the front, he can kick hard from the front, he can kick and get past people at the finish. So the two French here, this pairing of French, Dagino to the right with the glasses in his head, and Yann Schrub, the 29-year-old, to the left. They've got their hands full to control Kimeli here. He was 8th in the 5,000 metres at the Olympic Games last summer. And of course, he's got home advantage. Good crowds again out in the city centre, as yesterday, where they were immense in the latter stages of the half marathon.
Yeah, they'll be delighted as well to see the colours of Belgium leading the way with Isaac Kimeli, an athlete who has so much experience. But when you look at the depth of this field, he's always going to be pushed and challenged, and now he feels he's done enough on the front, and it's Yann Schrub who he now signals to say, you've been coasting along and riding for a while now, you take your turn. And we know that Yann Schrub has these kicks as well. We saw that at the European Cross Country Championships. He likes racing here in Belgium. He's performed well here on a number of occasions, and it's now his turn. As well, that's a brilliant angle. You can see that the gap is closing behind, and it's Dominic Lobalu who has been tasked with trying to bridge the gap, and you can see him bobbing around there, the white singlet with Suisse in red across his chest. And, he's dragging also plenty of quick finishes as well in that group behind him into contention here.
Foreshortening effect there of this camera shot makes it look like they're all close together, but they're not. The three to the left of picture have built a lead now, and we're getting into the business end of this race. Nearly 21 minutes on the clock. They're running through this glorious old city, which includes the Stella Artois Brewery, a 15th century town hall with a fabulous spire which is famous. The architecture here is quite astonishing. We had dinner last night very close to the Grand Place in Brussels. Belgium can boast so much glorious architecture. Oh my word, Kimeli steps aside. Who was that? Lobalu. Lobalu steps aside when he's up there in the top half dozen. What on earth has gone off there? Ramos working really hard, grimacing, the Spaniard there behind one of the Dutch vests. Who is that? Dutch athlete going through. Is it Zeidelan? But Lobalu has stepped aside. The European champion at 10,000 metres on the track outdoors last summer has been reduced to a walk. That is really strange. He was looking okay.
He was looking great. He was the only athlete who was dragging the group behind back into contention. He's trying to jog it off here, but that's him well out of the medal picture now.
So this leading trio, I'm sure that Kimeli has no idea that his teammate, or rather Lobalu, the Swiss athlete, has dropped out. But Kimeli tucked in now as Dagino, I think it is, hits the front again. He's done his fair share of leading. I mean, you've got to give credit to the 25-year-old. He's worked really hard through this race to build up this gap and get the rest of Europe behind him. As I mentioned, he is a world-class middle distance runner at 1,500, 3,000, 5,000. He's got great racing capacity and he's a strong athlete too. She is Lucan, working really hard here to try and isolate herself. The leading men go through 9k. They've got about 2 minutes 45 of hard running to come, and it's still impossible to separate these three. You can literally throw a blanket over them. This trio locked together. Now, I don't think it's going to become a cat and mouse affair and they'll slow. I think it's a case of who can last this long surge, last best, and survive the best this long surge towards the finish line. As D'Aguino, less heralded perhaps than one or two other race runners in this race. Yann Schrub is a famous racer. He's a fabulously consistent racer. Man who is a doctor is Yann Schrub. At the University of Lorraine, he completed his studies, and he looks comfortable, doesn't he, Shrubby? A little glance over there at Kimeli, and I think he's in control. Yeah, I think we just see the stat flash up there about his cross-country victory in Brussels 2 years ago now, and he played very similar tactics. He's a very intelligent racer, and you can see him still looking to the side. He's been invited to lead on a number of occasions, and only once has he picked it up, and very quickly he dropped back. I think this is playing into the hands of Yann Schrub, but we have seen the inspiration that being on home soil could be, and Isak Kimeli is still there and gritting his teeth. Charlie Wheeler is not in shot, by the way. I don't know why he's come up on that caption. It's the two Frenchmen, D'Aguino and Schrub. Leading at the moment is Schrub now, and he's beginning a little glance over his shoulder then, and another one. He's just trying to see. He's obviously cranked it up a notch or two. He's accelerating here, Schrub, trying to see what effect it's having. And I think they've got rid of Kimeli. Kimeli, the Belgian, in third place, may well get an individual medal, but he's struggling here, and a little nervous glance over his shoulder there tells a great deal. But Schrub it is, who's trying to kick away from D'Aguino. This the battle, a domestic battle, 300 metres to run. Yann Schrub, a fabulous racer on the country, a great track racer, a great road racer, and he is heading now for gold because he's got the gap on his teammate Etienne D'Aguino. Look at this from Yann Schrub, winding it up all the way, continually accelerating, and he still looks relaxed. This has been a masterclass from him. He's executed this supremely. And after the goal of Jimmy Gressier yesterday in the half marathon for France, the French colours are going to be first across the line once more. Look at the crowds here. To the southern end of the city of Leuven, the locals have come out in their thousands to support these races. And it looks quite magnificent despite the drizzle. He will be the winner of the inaugural European Running Championships 10-kilometre road race. Yann Schrub makes it gold for France, and D'Aguino makes it 1-2 again, as was the case yesterday for France in the half marathon. That is brilliant for the French squad, and with 3 to score, surely they are the favourites for the team title as well. Well, Kimeli had to give best to those. Isak Kimeli for Belgium takes the bronze. He makes sure the home nation gets onto the rostrum. And then the battle for fourth is another French race. Can you believe it? Balcao comes home. 3 French in the first 4. Wow. There's no doubt there France will take the team title as well. A superb performance, and Yann Schrub showing once again exactly what he can do, and he's run over, it's not in picture now but we can see it from where we are in the commentary booth, he's run straight over to Jimmy Gressier, who's filming in the stands. He's embraced the champion from yesterday. France make it 2 from 2 in the men's races so far, and just superb racing. Once again Yann Schrub pulls on the French cockerel onto his head. He did exactly the same in 2023 at the European Cross Country Championships, and another gold to add to his impressive collection. You're right, you did mention it earlier on, the leading pack of the women went through 5k in 15:32. There is Yann Schrub's winning form, brilliant from him, 27:37, and frankly, winning at a canter, he looked like he had plenty more in the tank, hasn't he? Recovered quickly. Yann Schrub, it's about winning at being in the front at the finish, not at the start. His time, 27:37 ahead of D'Aguino's 27:46. Gold and silver for France, they're ahead of Kimeli's bronze for the host nation, 27:58.
Hi, I'm Carlos Mayo. Sign up now to the European Athletics YouTube channel.